It's the Real Estate Podcast, brought to you by ANZ Home Loans for financial well-beings.
And welcome back to another episode of the Real Estate Breakfast as we cover the latest property news every morning on Ayre Radio, Spotify and Apple, and of course wherever you get your podcast from. And it's a Wednesday, Groundhog Day, middle of the working week. It is the 18th for October for 2023. And this morning we're going to be talking about lateral living. Yes, I did say lateral living. Have you heard what that is? Well, it's a growing trend towards oversized single-floor apartments that offer the advantages of a family house without the maintenance. This is, of course, if you can afford the price tag. So joining us this morning is Craig Donohue from Ayre Real Estate, and he's from Sydney. And good morning to you, Craig. Welcome to the Real Estate Breakfast this morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Tell us a little bit about, because there's been a bit of a shift, hasn't there? This whole lifestyle change that's going on at the moment. So you've seen a bit of this over the last couple of years. So what's kind of driving this, do you think?
Yeah, certainly. So I think one of the things that we've seen over the last few years is, as people get to a certain point in their life, what they're looking for in a lifestyle is changed a lot, from what they may have been looking at 5 or 10 years ago. So, we're finding people are really looking for that, ultra convenient, ultra luxurious lifestyle, really getting the best of both worlds, looking at removing themselves from the big house that requires a lot of maintenance, but still wanting the size, still wanting the space, but then wanting to upgrade that as well. So, have a view, have access to building amenities, building services, and then also be located in a position where you're surrounded by, all the best lifestyle you can have, whether it be restaurants, bars, shops, transport, park, the harbour. It's really just wanting the best of all worlds.
So what's been happening in the space of the luxury apartment property market for you over the last couple of months? What's kind of a couple of key takeaways?
Look, it's been a really exciting time for us. I guess one of the biggest events we're seeing at the moment is there's been a lot of attention around the Barangaroo precinct in Sydney, which is probably the benchmark in terms of what luxury lifestyle, high-rise apartment lifestyle is on offer in Australia, really. We've got the first One Sydney Harbour Towers coming up to completion in January. And so we're seeing a lot of people really excited to move into their beautiful brand new harbourfront apartments. And we're seeing a lot of people who have a bit of FOMO from not buying when they were for sale and really trying to do whatever they can to secure something around that position or something similar. And finding these oversized apartments is challenging. There's not enough of them to meet the demand of the buyers who really want to secure one.
Yeah, it's always a problem where people look at a development on the plan and they can't commit to it. It's like, oh, no, I don't think so. Then they see the crane, then they see the building going on, and they're saying, why did I hesitate?
Oh, the brave are the ones who are rewarded in this space. I mean, you see a lot of people just don't have the ability to envision what the finished product's going to look like, and that's understandable. It's a big financial commitment. It's a big decision when you are just looking at a plan and a display suite and an idea. That's why there are a lot more people who are, willing and able to make the commitment now when they're seeing it off the plan, because they know that 5 years down the track when the building's complete, whoever's bought those properties does not want to sell them.
Yeah, you got to do that whole Steve Waugh, to use the analogy from the cricketer. He had that great pre-visualization, didn't he?
Yeah.
If you can pre-visualize, you'll probably end up saving a lot of money.
Absolutely. It's very true.
All right, Craig, we'll come back to you in just a moment and we will talk more about lateral living in Sydney and what you get for your money. That's up next.
The skyline is constantly changing, growing and expanding. We deliver the most property podcasts across Australia every week.
Well, in some New South Wales regional areas, rents saw a slight drop, but for residents, it's not much relief from significantly higher pre-pandemic rates. It's a major problem. Domain reported that Richmond Valley had the steepest decline at 4%, though the median rents remain at $480 weekly. And while the rental market is tempering, regional New South Wales still sees rents higher than a year ago, with a 5-year period of growth, leaving many making compromises to cope with these rising costs. And of course, rents are such a massive talking point right around the country. The reason that people go into the regional areas to start with is to ease what they are paying on their rental costs in the city, but that is not an easy fix, as many are discovering, especially for first home buyers who are trying to save at the moment to buy a property with regional rents still going up and hurting. If you're celebrating your birthday today for October the 18th, many happy returns. Zac Efron is celebrating with you. He's turning 35. If you like a little bit of kickboxing and some martial arts, Jean-Claude Van Damme is celebrating his birthday today. He's turning 62.
Remember to follow us on any of the podcast platforms so you never miss a real estate podcast. You can follow us on Apple, Spotify and Amazon. Know your property with us. It's the Main Centre forecast.
And around the country, let's check on your all-important weather word. And first we go to Sydney. Cloud, and more cloud. A very cloudy day for you today with 21. In Melbourne, mostly sunshine. Plenty of fine weather with 27. That word cloudy is back for Brisbane. A whole lot of cloud today, 25. And also 25 in Perth, but it's going to be a mostly fine day.
From investment strategies to market analysis, know your property with us on the Real Estate Podcast.
And it is a Wednesday morning. We're talking with Craig Donohue from Ayre Real Estate and having a look at this question about lateral living, which is a growing trend. These apartments, as Craig mentioned, are sought after, especially by, I would think, downsizers, the corporate couples, families who appreciate the luxurious features. And that's really what it's all about. And Craig, the demand for these, I guess, has sort of led to the developers to create them because they're really filling the void, aren't they, the developers?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if we look at what a traditional, high-rise development site would look like, even 10 years ago, there may have only been a penthouse and a sub-penthouse on offer that were substantial sized properties. Now we're seeing buildings with more complex and diverse floor plans being included so that there is a larger allowance for these larger apartments as the demand for them has increased.
So in terms of complex, what are some of the complexities that the architects are actually putting into these lateral, single-storied, high-quality finished spaces?
There's some really interesting and exciting designs we're seeing. Anything from, additional studies to second living spaces, large outdoor areas. In some cases, we're seeing additional, pools, spas, outdoor barbecue areas. I mean, there's really a diverse range of features that are being incorporated now to make these larger properties unique.
And Craig, what about the sub-penthouse on top of the Swiss hotel? I think that's a good example of just the sort of luxury you're talking about.
It's a great example. That's an apartment that's 330 plus square meters on a single floor. What's interesting about that apartment in particular is that it has this incredibly large outdoor terrace that's well over 100 square meters. So, about a third of the apartment is outdoor space.
What about the international buyers at the moment? Are they keeping you busy?
They are. I think the international buyers tend to flock more to the off-the-plan purchase, which is what they're more eligible to buy as well. There's certainly an increase of international buying activity again that we've seen spark up again this year, and I think that will continue, through next year as well. I mean, there's certainly no shortage of people who are drawn to not just Sydney but Australia in general as a place to not only invest but also have a home.
As I mentioned, well into October, so how do you think it's likely to play for you for next month and also with the run-up to Christmas?
The run-up to Christmas is always a busy time for us in the luxury apartment market, especially in the Sydney CBD. We our strongest period is off the back of the spring selling season as people sell the big houses they want to sell to then find the apartment. They kind of do that first and then come to us. So there's no quiet time for us over Christmas where it's getting busier and busier, and we're expecting that to continue on right up until Christmas.
All right. Well, sounds like you're going to be busy, which is great to hear. Craig, thanks for coming on to the Real Estate Breakfast this morning, and good luck with some of these apartments that you are dealing with. Lateral living, I think we've kind of educated people that may not have known exactly what that is. It's all about the lifestyle and luxurious features. Hey, have yourself a fantastic Wednesday.
Thanks so much for having me.
Don't navigate the real estate market alone. Let us help guide you in the world of real estate every day. Make better informed decisions with the latest news and insights.
And what about development? Like, can you sort of develop it further from where it sits at the moment?
Our vendors have certainly explored the option of short-term, high-end accommodation, so pods scattered about the island. From their information, it is subject to council approval an option, but at the same time, could you create some vines? Could you have folks over there for a really exclusive vineyard experience? I guess there's just so many different ways you could look at it, or you could simply use it as a beautiful home as our current owners are doing.
We do see Croydon Hills, that's quite a smaller pocket, but that median sale price is actually hovering closer to $1 million. Croydon North is sitting just under that, sitting more in that mid-nines.
Yeah, g'day Craig. Hot off the press, mate. The RBA has decided to increase the cash rate. The RBA have taken the cash rate to 4.10%.
But at the same time, could you create some vines? Could you have folks over there for a really exclusive vineyard experience? I guess there's just so many different ways you could look at it, or you could simply use it as a beautiful home as our current owners are doing.
We're not building enough houses. We're not seeing enough new development starts. If you look at the leading indicator, which is your dwelling approvals, it's still languishing around 900 per month.
We connect you to the best real estate information across Australia. The Real Estate Podcast.